world full of Uniteds.
It is a magic moment from Heung-min Son!
Cities.
Through to Lucas Moura!
And Rovers.
Harry Kane! Oh, what a goal!
There is only one Hotspur.
It's glory, glory, Tottenham Hotspur!
Hello and welcome to the very first podcast under the new name of the One Hotspur podcast. I am Toby from _Spurs Center, and today I am joined by Bodie from Hotspur Bond Industry, Charlie from CV Design as Z Not an S, Louis from Spurs _fan page, and Max from the Hotspur News. How you guys doing?
No, I'm not good.
not at all that good. We are coming straight after the defeat to Arsenal. But before we get into that game, let's start off with the 2-0 win over Dinamo Zagreb in the Europa League. Do we think that Son playing the amount of minutes that he did in that game kind of led up to his injury early on in the North London derby?
Yeah, I think so. I think Son shouldn't have played. I mean, don't get me wrong, Dinamo Zagreb are a good side, and obviously Europa League is a competition that we have to win this season, because top four is becoming increasingly unlikely now, especially after the defeat to Arsenal today. But even though they're a half decent side and their defence, and I think coming into the game, they kept 4 clean sheets in their last 6. But I think we have more threat than just Son on the left-hand side, so I wouldn't have played him. I think that could have led up to his injury today. So yeah, I think that is the case.
Yeah. I agree as well. I mean, I think obviously Dinamo Zagreb is a good side. I mean, they play in the Champions League, but I mean, our star players need some rest. I think I saw a stat that said Son has played in 41 of our 46 matches this season, and I think there's too much. It's asking for an injury at that point. So I think Bergwijn maybe should have gotten some minutes, or
I genuinely the same with Højbjerg. I think maybe Højbjerg used much because Højbjerg was for me one of the worst players on the pitch today. Some of his passes, oh my god.
Yeah, and that's ironic because Højbjerg actually was rested against Dinamo Zagreb.
If Son didn't go off, technically Lamella's goal would have even happened. So
yeah,
I mean.
True. We'll get into that later.
But still,
going back to the Dinamo Zagreb,
I don't think Son staying or going off would change the performance. Yeah.
Getting back into the Dinamo Zagreb game.
Kane.
Yeah, Kane.
Yeah.
I mean, very good performance.
Well, it wasn't the best performance from the actual team, but it was a decent. It was a clinical performance. We didn't create so many chances, but we took the chances. So, I mean, it's perfect going into the second leg, but hopefully we won't be really demotivated after what happened today. But yeah I'm confident we'll go through. We need to rely on Europa League now, if I'm being honest. It's the most important thing. Yeah,
we definitely do need to, at the very least, we need to go through this tie and just take it step by step after that. I mean, we did play a fairly strong lineup in that Europa League game. I mean, maybe Aurier should have been rested and then allowed to come back from his injury and then play today against Arsenal, and that could have been another factor that would have changed the outcome. But yeah, I mean, overall, I think it was a half decent performance from the boys, and I mean, at the end of the day, it's a 2-0 win, and we go into the second leg next week. Hopefully, we'll have some confidence and just can kind of see the tie out, maybe grab an early goal. That would force Dinamo Zagreb to score 4, if I'm not mistaken. So at the end of the day, we should go through, bar anything unforeseen happening, which would be very, very unfortunate for our season. But yeah, I think at the end of the day, it's a clean 2-0 win, and we just have to be comfortable going into the next leg. Any thoughts on that game before we jump into the North London derby?
Yeah, I think the clean sheet was the most important part of that win. Well, considering the fact that the first leg was the home leg as well, because it was meant to be the away leg, was it not first?
Yeah, it was supposed to be the away leg first.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, and I said after we drew Zagreb that I do like being away from home first, because then we can get the away goals and bring them back to the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. So therefore, Zagreb have to come out for the second leg, and that kind of favours our game plan and hit them on the counter attack, you know. But yeah, clean sheet and a 2-0 win, like you can't complain there. And considering they came into the game keeping 4 clean sheets in the last 6, I mean, you can't complain. It's a good win, that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree with that. Any other thoughts from Bodie, Charlie, or Matt? Or Louis, before we jump into the North London derby?
Nope.
Alrighty. Well, so today, I mean, not the most exciting. Or actually, sorry. Before we jump into the North London derby, let's take a look at a few of the comments that were left on our Instagram page. It is now called. Our Instagram is One Hotspur Pod. If you want to follow us there, and the 2 comments, Kane is better than everyone ever, and how on earth does Harry Kane read the game so well? So, I mean, he is pretty special. I think he's hit now after today it'll be a 42 goal contributions in 38 games, which I mean is still just like incredible. The fact that he's averaging more than 1 goal and assist every game is spectacular, to be honest. I mean, what a player we have on our hands. But yeah, those were the only 2 comments from Dylan Reed 16 and Finn Monty, respectively. But I think now we can jump into the unfortunate North London derby. Let's start with the positives. I thought Lucas Moura and Eric Lamela, leading up to his red card, of course, were very incredible.
Lucas, as usual, with a top class performance, and I mean, there's no denying that the whole team was not ready for today. You know, Son said in an interview before the game that we're ready, we're motivated, but I don't know what he was talking about, because none of them even looked like they trained for a week before today. And, you know, Arsenal were just so much, they had more energy, they had more passion, and they really played like it was a derby. Like, if you watched us play, it was like we were playing some Checker Trade Trophy game, like, honestly.
Yeah,
really poor.
I think Eric Lamela, Lucas Moura, and maybe Sergio Reguilon were the only ones that really looked like they were out playing in a derby today.
Yeah,
actually, I think
Lamela went a
Dele
bit
Alli
too far with the derby because
got a little carried away with it. I think Dele Alli, after he came on, I thought he played well. To be honest, I think it warranted another start in the midweek against Dinamo Zagreb, and then going on maybe some minutes this weekend again against Aston Villa.
I've heard people criticize Ali for
today's
performance, but he's got quite a lot of hate after today, but I don't know why. He was one of the best players on the pitch, if you ask me.
To be honest, Dele Alli, he was okay when he came on. But Kane, did you see the free kick when he hit the bottom?
The post, yeah.
Yeah.
Hit the bottom, yeah, the bottom of the right post.
I was scared. I was freaked out in that bit.
Yeah. Harry Kane with an uncharacteristically close free kick.
Normally he scores
and then Davinson Sanchez off the line as well.
Normally he scores on the front.
Look, Dele Alli, right? He was okay. He was nothing special that game, right? He should have scored that chance when Kane put that cross in and there was a header.
Yeah,
he should have scored. The fact that he didn't score that amazes me, because if that was Harry Kane or even Marcus Llorente, anyone else in that position, even Lucas Moura, that would have been a goal. So the fact that Dele Alli didn't score that was shocking. He had a good game, but he needs to take those chances, and that's the reason why he
those chances. But
that's the reason he doesn't get played week in, week out in Premier League games, because he needs to be finishing those chances.
Well, I disagree with saying that like anyone else would have scored that. I don't think Dombele would have put that in the back of the net. I don't think Lamela would have put that in the back of the net. Maybe I think Lucas would have.
You get what I mean?
Yeah,
though?
I get what you mean. And considering that heading was one of Dele's strengths, he definitely should have put that in the back of the net. But I think overall he did a good job keeping the ball and not losing it, especially in the final third. And he looked motivated on the ball. I still think he didn't look as motivated off the ball, which is something that he really needs if he's going to get back into the team. But I mean, at the end of the day, it's progress, which is I guess what we all really want to see from Dele.
A lot of us used to be Diane Sanchez out, but as Bodie said, before. It's turning out to be Dyer and Toby out, and maybe it's a bit harsh on Toby because I mean it was a poor performance, but it's only one game. But
That wasn't that good.
Toby is looking very dodgy every time he gets the ball. Like every time he's on the ball, he like when Arsenal players run at him, he like gets all tense and just bangs it up the pitch. He's got no confidence on the ball.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe it's just me, but I just don't think he's good enough. But Sanchez, obviously, let's talk about the penalty.
Well, before we get to the penalty, I want to go back on Alderweireld. Bodie, we'll get to you in a second. I just wanted to say that I think Alderweireld has looked uncharacteristically just frightened on the ball. He doesn't seem comfortable at all in any circumstance. He hasn't connected a diagonal ball in what feels like a really long time. And today, I mean, his diagonal balls, they were off. I mean, we used to call him Lord of the Pings, but I don't think he's landed a solid ping this season. So we definitely do need to go into the transfer market this summer and sign a center back who is comfortable on the ball. And can hit those diagonal balls up to our forwards, because I mean that's something that I think would really improve the team if we could have someone to ping the ball up to Son or to Lucas or to Bale or even to Kane. I think we've really missed that. But Bodie, what's up?
Look, right, you talk about Alderweireld, right? Sure, he hasn't had amazing, long ball completion rate, but are we not going to talk about Lloris? I see every time this season there has not been one time he's hoofed that ball up the pitch and it's went to a Tottenham player. It's either headed from the Spurs player and it's went back to possession, or it just goes straight back to an Arsenal player in itself or any other team's players. You can't deny that. I know
you can absolutely deny that. There has been more than a few occasions this season, especially at the beginning of the season, where Lloris's clearances were actually decent.
So the conversion rate is so low. It's so unbelievably low that you cannot deny it. You simply cannot. His passing is diabolical. It's terrible.
Yeah, I agree.
His passing is subpar, but
It's
saying he
not just
hasn't
that,
landed a single
clearance
this season is.
He didn't have
sorry,
a
what
Can I
single
say something? Can I say something? Matt Doherty needs to go and put on an
Okay,
after
well,
show.
we'll get to Doherty in a minute. Let's stay on the keeper debate right now. Bodie, what were you gonna say?
No, I wasn't gonna say anything. I'm just saying he's shocking.
Mm-hmm.
He's shocking at his passing.
I think shocking is debatable.
No, but I thought Lloris had gotten better at passing. But like honestly, there was like this moment in today's game where there was like 3 minutes in between 3 minutes, he had just banged the ball up the pitch like 3 times or 4 times and got them all wrong. I don't know what he's doing.
I was thinking maybe it would be better to pass to Alderweireld and let him try something, because he actually knows how to kick a ball, for God's sake.
I agree with Bodie. Because the thing is, like last 2 seasons, we've seen that Lloris's decision making in his own box is so poor. Like for example, what Charles said.
Max, to be honest with you,
what Charles said, I think the ball was coming over the top. Saka was chasing it. Toby was like shielding him off, and Lloris just boots it straight out for a throw in, literally to the side, and maybe Arsenal have another chance. I mean, Charles and Bodie, like I agree with them. Like Lloris's like kicking and his decision making is so poor. Like give it to Alderweireld, who's like an experienced centre back and at least know what he's doing on the ball. Fair enough, he was poor today, and he was panicky on the ball, like pretty much like most of the other players. But like Lloris's decision making is so poor, and I've seen that a lot this season.
To be honest, Max, Lloris has had a lot of howlers. He's had a lot of howlers. He did quite a lot of. The only good thing he did was that reflex save when he did a very good save. To try
I think that's always been Lloris's strong suit. Is he's a very good shot stopper, but I think I agree with you. I think it comes down to his clearances just are subpar.
How to use their hands. For God's sake, he puts the ball down and then hoofs it up the field. He'd be more better even just throwing it.
I think that comes down to the system as well as, I think today, Mourinho can deny it all he wants, but the game plan was hoof and hope. I mean, every time we got the ball, especially in the first 20 minutes. We
You
got the
say that,
ball.
but you could at least give it to Alderweireld. I mean, yeah, hoof and hope. That's
No,
not
okay.
good. But,
Alderweireld was awful today. He didn't land a
no,
single long
but
ball
his
either.
passing is,
He
but
didn't
to
even
be
do
fair,
anything.
his passing is still miles better than Lloris at his best.
Not
His
well
passing
at
is
his best, yeah,
diabolical.
but he hasn't reached his best in the past. I don't know, 4, 5,
But
6
his
months.
passing is always been better. So if you're thinking hoof and hope, then why not? Like Alderweireld's sitting right next to Lloris. Why not just put the ball down, give it to Alderweireld, and let him do his thing? Because Lloris doesn't do
Bodie,
anything.
Bodie. To be honest, Bodie, Alderweireld didn't even do a single thing. He just stood. He literally stood there, and literally went from side to side, and just literally just did little.
Yeah, and neither
flipping.
did Lloris. But my point is, there's more of a chance something's going to work
Yeah.
out by giving it to Alderweireld than Lloris hoofing it up and hoping.
I do see what you're saying.
I see
Yeah.
what you're
What about
saying,
the,
but basically at this point, neither of them can actually ping a
Yeah.
ball. But let's go on to Doherty.
Yeah. Okay.
The
Before we get into
undercover
this,
Wait,
no
am I
one
allowed
say
to-
anything about Doherty being a double agent or that he still secretly supports Arsenal. Like, he's a professional. He signed the contract with Spurs. He deleted the tweets. He's a Spurs player. He's not sabotaging us in a game. He played poor.
Not gonna lie, there is actually proof saying that he actually.
I'm aware that he was an Arsenal fan, but he is no longer an Arsenal fan. That's
Remember
my
on
point.
his announcement video.
No, so I'm saying I know he was an Arsenal fan, but the point is he's a professional. He's no longer an Arsenal fan. He didn't sabotage the game for us. He didn't make some secret agreement with Tierney before the game that he was just going to let him pass him every time.
But even so, right? People are just doing that just because, but they're doing that just because they don't like him, right? I don't like him either. He's playing terribly. My point is, how can you be getting paid, 100,000 quid a week when people are starving on the streets, and then you play like that?
with Doherty, yeah. With Doherty, what I don't understand is like every time. This is the same thing against Crystal Palace in the first half. Every time Arsenal came forward, which was quite a lot in the first half, he's out of position every single time, Doherty. And fair enough, like I understand, in my opinion, when the first half, anyway, Doherty was being targeted. I think Smith Rowe and Tierney. I think Doherty had to deal with 2 men at once, like Toby said at half time. I think they was targeting Doherty. But what I don't understand is every time Arsenal came forward, it was the same with Crystal Palace in the first half, like I said already. He's out of position every time, and that's what I just don't understand about him. And I think that's the reason why like people say, oh yeah, like Doherty's always been an Arsenal fan. I think people are saying that is because today, like it's a coincidence that he played like he was an Arsenal fan against Arsenal, if you know what I mean. I think that's why people are saying that.
Think about it, right? Right. Just open your mind here, Toby, right? Think about this. Not only does he lose the ball to Smith Rowe, he's not even tracking back. I literally saw him in the replay that led up to the Odegaard goal. He was jogging. He was literally he was practically walking while he was running. He had about 5 yards space by the time the pass came to Odegaard, and Doherty was still jogging.
Bodie, listen, Bodie. Let me say, I'm going to say something. The reason we had a back three whenever Arsenal on the attack because flipping Doherty didn't even he was more up the field. We had to try and get Bale to track that.
Yeah, he was up the field.
That was the issue though.
He was up the
I'm gonna
field.
take this one, Bodie.
The ball up the field, losing the ball, and then not tracking back, just having a little look.
Okay, Doherty did get up the field. He did track back. I mean, he obviously didn't give it like his A effort in that game. But I think part of the issue is that Gareth Bale, I love him, but Gareth Bale had an off day, and he doesn't track back to the same degree that Lucas Moura, Eric Lamela, Steven Bergwijn, that they do. So every time that Arsenal got the ball and brought it to the left flank, he was getting double teamed by Emile Smith-Rowe and Kieran Tierney. So that's why he was getting beat every time, was because he didn't have that cover. And then in the second half, when Bale got taken off, and I think it was Lamela got moved to that right side.
Yeah.
And Sissoko in that holding mid role. It happened less and less often because Doherty was able to stay on either Smith Rowe or Tierney, and then Lamela tracked the other one or Sissoko tracked the other one, and then it was more solid that way. So I think that also comes down to some poor planning on a.
It's just you can't. It's not possible to be playing at the top division of football and play that bad. It's just not. It's not possible.
I agree with Toby though.
Not probable.
About Bale. Like it's obvious. Like Bale looked disinterested today, especially in the first half. Like when to when Toby and Arsenal were getting 2 men on dirty. I'm watching Arsenal coming back. I'm watching Arsenal attacking this year. Fair enough, Dirty's jogging back, but so is Bell. Like Christmas, like as a right winger, like you've got to track back as well.
I know,
as well as
Bale's an attacker.
Huh?
Bale's a right winger. He's
Even
meant
if
to.
you're flipping, midfielder.
Yeah, you've got to track back, even if you're a white.
I know.
Can I point something else out?
Something else I'm saying, right, is that you say
I need a few minutes.
you say that it was better.
You say experience when I played football.
Here, let's Bodie finish your point. Bodie, finish your point, and then we'll get to Charlie.
You're saying that Doughty found it easy after Bale came off. It was because Lamella was actually playing back. He was Lamella and Sissoko were basically playing right back for him when he wasn't there. He was like he was playing like Aurier did, but worse.
All right, Charlie, go ahead.
All right. So I have quite a lot of stuff to say. So first, this Doherty situation. There's a lot of people to blame for this. I mean, yes, Bale and Doherty are equal to blame for me. Spurs fans are being a bit biased, just hating on Doherty because Bale deserves just as much hate for that performance. I mean, both of them exposed way too much space for Tierney and Smith Rowe. But I understand Aurier is coming back from injury. But at this point, Jose must realise, play Tanganga, play an injured Aurier. Like, there's no point in playing Doherty. Because basically, Doherty has no skill whatsoever. He's not a good attacker. He's not a good defender. He can't defend. He can't attack. He can't pass the ball. So many wayward passes. So many weak passes today. He's honestly not playing like he's playing like a League One player. I mean, I don't know what's going on with him, but also moving on from what was I going to say? So Aurier definitely should be playing from now on, but Bale, I won't say disinterested. He didn't get much of the ball either, but he was just, as I said, everyone just didn't look quite motivated for the game. But also, I just want to point out, no one's pointing out, but Højbjerg and Ndombele were the key problem today, except for Doherty and Bale on that right side, because we always usually in our games rely that usually Ndombele and Højbjerg most of the time, literally all the time, have a good game. So we can always rely on them to be consistent. But I mean, Højbjerg's dropped off in form this season a bit, but Højbjerg and Ndombele were very poor today, in my opinion. So many wayward passes, and they were always beaten to the ball in midfield. In that first half, we were constantly losing the ball to Arsenal. They were fighting for it much more than we were, and not just that. It's just so many wayward passes, just useless in midfield today. It needs to be much better against Villa.
I was going to.
Yeah, go ahead, Max.
Yeah, I was going to comment on the tactics today. I mean, don't get me wrong. Like this isn't the first time when we've gone defensive and all of a sudden we attack when we concede. I mean, to be honest, like looking at our form and the goals we've scored recently, and the fact that our attack's been on form, we have every right to go out there and go for it. Like literally, because the thing is, and me and Josh were saying in the preview on our channel, we were saying press them the first 10 minutes and get that early goal, because the thing is, recently we've seen that when we get that first goal, we go for the second one. Same with Burnley. Palace, we made it 2-1 when we got the third
Burnley.
goal. And the thing is, I want to understand, we have every right. If you compare the team we put out compared to the team they put out, look at our attack. Yeah, exactly. Look at our attack. Like that front four could humiliate any defence in the Premier League. Like whether it's City's, whether it's Liverpool's, whether it's Sheffield United's, it can that front four could humiliate any defence in the league. And what I don't understand is it's 1-1. We're still in the game. We have to win, and a win would take us 10 above Arsenal, 5 above Liverpool, like 2 points off top 4, whatever. And we're parking the bus. We're bringing off Bale. Fair enough, Bale was poor today, but at least Bale could create something, you know? Like, I just don't understand. And this isn't the first time that it's happened this season. And what I don't understand, as soon as we go down to 10 men, why did we play our best football in the whole game?
Yeah. I think if we played like we did in the last 10 minutes, 2-1 down, and with 10 men, we would have won the game 5-6-0 even. I mean, chance after chance after chance we created.
This is one of the most annoying things, if you ask me, this season. Jose got tactics all wrong today, obviously, but I'm not blaming him. The players weren't up for it either. There's no one real to really blame except for Doherty and Bale.
It's not Charlie. It's not just the players. It's the whole team and staff. And I got it wrong. All the tactics.
But what I wanted to say, so yeah, we can't. It's bad for not just bad for the reputation of the club. It's just bad mentality. It's just not Derby mentality to be defending and parking the bus in the first minutes of the game against our biggest rivals. It's just in the biggest game of the season, we can't do that. But it's not really about that. It's just that, as you said, if we played like we did in the last 10 minutes, we would have won easily. And this is what I don't understand. It's happened so many times this season where we've been losing half the game and hardly playing half the game. And then in the last 15 minutes, we actually start playing and actually play well and almost score a few. It's always the same. And I just don't understand it. Why don't we just play like that the whole game? Why? All the players and Jose know how good we are when we play attacking football. Burnley and Palace prove that. Why can't we just... I just don't get it anymore. But there's no excuses to play defensive football at this point. I mean, yes, our defense is crap, but like we need to risk it, all right? We need to risk it for top 4 at this point because there's no point of defending with this, going defensive into games, mostly, and even worse, a game against Arsenal with the defense we have, because we need to be winning games like 3-2, 4-3. It doesn't matter how many we concede anymore. We just need to win because it's not worth it playing like this if you're going to lose because, you know, we've seen it too many times this season. It just hasn't worked.
Yeah. I mean, just totally just like the fact that we started the game parking the bus. Like we didn't even wait until we scored the first goal. Like just straight from the kickoff, we were sitting with 5 in the back. And it's just embarrassing. I mean, I think maybe that Son injury may have even worked out in our favor, bringing Lamela on, someone who, I mean, say what you will about Lamela, but he brought some fire to the game. I mean, I think Lamela turned the game around. Unfortunately, it got turned back around in the second half, but in the end of the first half, I guess. But I mean, it's just so frustrating. I mean, no one's even really talking about this because we played awfully, but their goals were a deflected shot and a penalty. It's like they never carved us open. Even though we were sitting back the entire game, they never had a clear-cut chance. Odegaard got lucky. Lloris was going to save it, and then it gets deflected into the bottom corner. Nothing you can do about that. Sanchez slides across, and if Lacazette would have made contact, Sanchez would have blocked the shot, and it would have been no problem. But Arsenal's striker was so bad that he got a penalty. I mean, that's really how that one worked out. And then, I mean, Lloris dove the wrong way. I mean, nothing you can do about that. So it's really unfortunate the way that, I mean, we put together a well-crafted goal, playing Bale switching the field to Reguilon playing it into Lucas, who sets it off for Lamela to score an outrageous goal, probably one of the best in North London Derby history. And then to just go and capsize on ourselves like that. I mean, I just don't understand. Like, it's just so disappointing. But I feel like I've been ranting for a bit, so
I was gonna comment about Lamela actually. Like, although Lamela scored a ridiculously good goal, and overall he had a very good game, it's there's still no reason for him not to be criticised. Like, fair enough, I know the first yellow card was very harsh, and if you go watch our watch song, I was really angry at that because it wasn't a yellow card or even a foul. Maybe it wasn't even a foul, first of all, and the fact it was a yellow card was BS, to be honest. But at the same time, like, I know it wasn't a yellow card the first one, but when you want a yellow card, you've got to like think about yourself. You know, like you've got to be sensitive. And the way, okay, the second yellow, he's shielding the ball. He's got options. He's got Højbjerg. He's got Højbjerg there. He can switch the play to I think it was Lucas on the far side. And for no reason, he just puts his hand in Tierney's face. Like, I think overall Lamela was our best player today, and people were saying, "Oh, yeah, we're going to be even." Yeah, Lamela and Lucas. Lucas, like, he always gives 100%, and for me, he's just signed every Premier League game as he is doing right now. But Lamela, like, apart from that, in terms of creating chances, I thought Lamela edged it ahead of Lucas. I mean, Lucas works hard, but Lucas didn't really create much. You know, I mean, Lamela scored the goal, but when you want a yellow card, yeah, exactly. But when you want a yellow card, you've got to think about it. You know, like, you can't just like put your hand in someone's face, because I'm pretty certain, like, because when it was 2-1, we're chasing the game, like you never know, like, could have finished 2-2 or maybe 3-2 if we still had Lamela on the pitch, because Lamela was the one who was driving us forward when Son came off. So,
yeah, I agree with that. I think. Yeah, go ahead.
But also, what I wanted to say, Lamela, I wouldn't. I mean, I will criticize him for getting the red, obviously. But if anything, him getting the red was a positive for our game. I mean, when he went off, we started actually playing football. So you never know. But what Max said about the yellow card, the first yellow card, it's a joke. Like, maybe the pen was a pen, maybe it wasn't. But overall, the game, the ref was so biased. It's not even the big free kicks. It's just these small things, like these nudges that he kept giving fouls to Arsenal, and it was like so many of those, like that first Lamela, that wasn't even a free kick, and he gave a yellow for it. So many of those challenges were given against us. Yet when Arsenal, like when Xhaka slid in dangerously, I mean, he's kind of got the ball, but it was really dangerous against Doherty. Literally on the edge of the box.
That was the same exact thing that Lamela did earlier in the game.
It's crazy. I really don't get it.
I think Jose Mourinho has said in his post-match press interview, the decision to award Arsenal a penalty was wrong. And if someone has a different opinion, it is probably a big Arsenal fan with a season ticket.
Wait, he really said that?
Yeah. I mean, so true about Mourinho.
Yeah, but he's pulling out the excuse book again. It's just, but when I agree with him, but when you say something like that, all the neutral fans, all the rival fans are going to say that he's making up excuses. And it's just not good. It's not good for the club. I just don't. I understand why he's doing it. I understand he's got a reputation for.
Well, I think he's also
stuff like
trying
that,
to protect Sanchez, and not maybe let Sanchez slip out of form.
I know, but
I thought Sanchez was excellent today.
No, he really was. He was really bossing it, and you know, when Doherty left that side exposed and Bale, and a few times when Smith Rowe had space on that wing, Sanchez covered for him and won the ball a few
closed
times,
down,
which I was really impressed by. But sadly, Sanchez not get enough support from his teammates, as you can see.
Actually, based off that, I want to talk about the first goal, and I love Højbjerg, and we were talking about how he had a little bit of an off game today, but where was Højbjerg? Like, why wasn't he marking Odegaard on that first goal? It seemed like that's where he should have been, and he was just a few steps off it, which left Odegaard an acres of space to just place it anywhere he wanted. And luckily or unluckily, he placed it right down the middle of the goal where it deflected off all the girls and went in the bottom corner. But I mean, it's just so disappointing that that's the way it worked out.
I think Højbjerg's got to be careful with his discipline, you know. I think with Højbjerg, I think that was his worst game in a Spurs shirt since Everton at home. You know, the 1-0 loss at home, first game of the season. I think today was his worst performance since that game. I mean, literally the amount of times in the first half, going back to, I can't remember who said it, but our midfield was getting run over in the first half. Like Xhaka and Partey were absolutely humiliating Højbjerg and Ndombele. Like the amount of times, even in the second half, like the amount of times, like we just gave the ball away in our own half, the middle of the park,
Exactly.
and we're chasing the game. But the thing is, no one's going to say it. The thing is, like, no one's going to criticise Højbjerg because he's been one of our best players this season. That's the only reason why.
Yeah, I mean the same thing goes for Bale. I mean, no one's going to be criticizing him because he's Gareth Bale, and he's the 5-time Champions League, 4-time Champions League winner, whatever it is. But I mean, at the end of the day, I think it's just in general disappointing the way this game worked out, and the effort from. I think the most embarrassing or humiliating part, or whatever you want to say about it, was the lack of effort from the squad.
Yeah, I agree. The effort just wasn't there today. And also, I pointed it out before the podcast, but not on the pod. It's just one of the things that really frustrates me. I mean, obviously, just losing a derby frustrates me. But the fact that, we had it on the plate. Everton lost. Chelsea drew. It was our chance. If we won our next 2 games, we'd be on the same point. If we won our next 2 games, we'd be on the same points as Chelsea with the same amount of games and joint 4th. And we just
ahead of them on goal differential.
It's just annoying because we always waste these chances, and it really costs us our season usually. But hopefully we can bounce back against Villa and Zagreb. But
I need to say something. Can I say something?
Yeah, for it.
In my live stream chat, someone said apparently North London is blue because of apparently Chelsea.
North London?
Yeah.
But Chelsea aren't from North London.
They are just they're trolls then. But
I swear they're West London, Chelsea.
Apparently the whole of London is blue.
I mean,
Very
based
funny.
off the last 5 years, you could say that. But
yeah. Well, but like you can say London is blue, but you can't say North London is blue.
because
North
they're
London
from West
is red
London.
or white, and I'd argue that it is still white because we're still 4 points ahead of them on the table. But let's review a couple of the comments from our Instagram for the Arsenal game. BREBROV responded with just a crying emoji, and I think that pretty accurately sums up Spurs fans today.
It's just a heartache, really.
Yeah, I mean, just so painful, especially with the way we started the game. I mean, well, not the way we started the game, but the way we went 1-0 up, and then just to concede right before halftime, and then to concede a penalty late on. I mean, on another day, it could have finished 1-0 without a deflection goal and without a lucky VAR call, or not VAR. Lucky penalty call.
I just got the notification saying it was Hugo's interviews come up on YouTube, so I'm going to watch that. See what Hugo thought of the game.
What's so frustrating, is that from minute 1 to minute 80, until we went. So from minute 1 until we went down to 10 men, which was like 12, 13 minutes to go, like literally the whole team. Because the thing is, like from minute 1 to until Lamela got sent off, which is like 78, 79 minutes.
Yeah,
I think the team looked like they weren't playing in the North London derby. Like, because the thing is, like Charles said earlier, we look like a team who was playing like a meaningless competition. Like, for example, like the Papa John's Trophy, whatever that is, that Salford won yesterday. Yeah, exactly, the Papa John's Trophy. Like, we look like a team who's playing in like the Audi Cup or something. Like, literally, it's a North London derby. It's a must-win game. And from minute 1 to minute 80, we look like a team who just didn't want to be there. Like, literally, like we have every right. We have every right to go out there. And what's even more frustrating, after the first goal, okay, fair enough. Arsenal hit the woodwork twice before we got the first goal. Arsenal hit the woodwork once before the goal, and the second time 2 minutes straight after the Lamela goal. And the thing is, like, Arsenal's defence, like, we all know how crap it can be sometimes. And they never over Arsenal. Like, last couple of games, they've given the ball away in a stupid area, and the opposition team have scored from it. Obviously, Olympiacos, Sabas gave the ball away, El Arabi scored. The Burnley equaliser, Xhaka tries to switch it and hits wood and goes in. So, like, I don't understand why we're not pressing them, looking at the mistakes that Arsenal made over the last few games. I mean, Because the thing is, like, looking at the mistakes they've made, like, we have no right to not press them at all. And that's what's just so frustrating, because Arsenal are there for the taking. Like,
Burnley pressed them. Burnley scored a goal off of pressing Arsenal. And yet, Tottenham Hotspur, Big Six team, managed by Jose Mourinho, probably the greatest manager in the world, with Harry Kane, probably the best striker in the world, up front, isn't going to press?
Yeah,
and I mean, going into this game...
That's true.
No, but basically, we're the better club. There's no denying. Anyone can say what... Arsenal fans can say what they want, London's red or whatever, but we generally have the all-round the better team, and there's no denying it. And this should be, at this point, a routine game for us. I mean, obviously, it's never going to be easy if they're out for the game, but if we press them, if we attack from minute one, we would have won easily. And I'm being totally honest here. And I just don't understand it. But
going back to being totally up for it. Going into the game, I was feeling pretty confident about treating this like a derby. Because we had Hugo Lloris, club captain. He's been here for forever. He knows what the derby means in goal. Sergio Reguilon, full of passion on the left. Alderweireld and Sanchez in the middle, who have both been here for a while. They know what the derby means. Minus Doherty, he doesn't understand it as much, I don't think. He understands from the other side maybe, but maybe not as much. Højbjerg, full of passion. Dombele also less so. And then Son, Mora, Bale, and Kane. Those four should all understand it as well. And then we came out and Kane had, I feel like he didn't drop in and get the ball deep as he normally does. Bale barely got the ball. Here, I'm gonna look right now. Kane had 27 touches in the entire game. Yeah. Bale had 22 touches in the entire game. So
we had one shot.
We just didn't create anything. We never got the ball to Kane, or maybe more accurately, Kane and Bale never came to get the ball. Because the most successful we've been is when Kane comes deep and plays it out to Son, or plays it out to Bale, or Bale comes deep and plays it out to Son, or plays it up to Kane, and just no one ever dropped in because we never had the ball. I guess that's where the problem started, was we didn't have the ball, and when we did get it, we just hoofed it up the field, and that hasn't worked for us this season. So I don't understand why we started that way. But
if you look at the sets of passion from both teams, like looking at the lineups, like if you compared our quality of the lineup to their quality of their lineup, I was like, we can beat these lot convincingly here. Like if we play our attacking football, because the thing is, like, everyone knows it already. When we attack with pace and fluidity going forward, we could literally score every time we go forward. Like, remember the 16-17 season, like when our attack was absolutely ridiculous. And every time we went forward with the ball, we looked like we was going to score. Last 4 or 5 games, it's literally the same thing. Every time we've gone forward with Lucas Moura's pace, Bale on the right-hand side, Son on the left, Kane up top with his passing, his finishing. Like, we could score like a goal every time we go forward. And that's what's so frustrating, because today, in terms of the passion, we look like the team who are in 10th, and Arsenal look like the team Arsenal look like the team who were fighting for top 4, because they wanted it more. It's obvious we did not want that. Until we went down to 10 men, we did not want that today whatsoever. There's no passion.
I was trying to go back. I don't remember who said it, but we had more than one shot today.
Yeah, we did.
But
Kane's free kick, the Mellors goal.
Kane's free kick.
Sanchez off the line.
Sanchez, but I think. Is there anything else anyone wants to mention on the Arsenal game before we jump on into the preview of Dinamo Zagreb next week?
Mind the gap. Right, let's move on.
Yeah, mind the gap. 4 points still. All right, Dinamo Zagreb this week. Perfect opportunity for us to bounce back before the Aston Villa game this weekend, which is going to be important if we're to keep our spot the top 6 or top 7 or wherever we are in this godforsaken table. But all we need is to lose by less than 2 goals, or draw or win, or lose 3-1, I guess would be acceptable too, or 4-2. But how confident are we feeling going into Dinamo Zagreb away from home? I think that's important.
I'm still confident, because considering that we got a clean sheet in the first leg, Zagreb have to go for it in the second leg, and as I said before, that could suit our whole counter-attacking game plan, because it's happened many times this season. Obviously teams have to come out when they're losing by a goal, and that results us in scoring another 3-4. Obviously, Burnley, for example, we get the goal in 2 minutes. Burnley have to come out, and then we end up beating them convincingly. So, considering Zagreb have to come out, I'm confident we'll win the second leg convincingly. And also, Europa League is for me the best chance we have of getting into the Champions League next season.
Yeah, I think that's important to remember. So, what are our thoughts on Kane playing midweek? Do you think Kane should be starting or? I feel like with the 2-0 lead going into it, we can start with Carlos Vinicius, but bring Kane on the bench just in case.
Yeah, I think he should be on the bench.
I think we can have like 13 subs or something. So bring Kane, bring Bale, but start Bergwijn, start Lamela, start Dele.
Start people that need game time.
Yeah,
I'd say
Bergwijn deserves a chance at this point.
Yes, I agree completely. Bergwijn needs to start. He needs to be given a full 90 minutes in a competition.
Yeah, and see, here's the thing, right? Son has end product unlike Bergwijn, but having a presence in attack, Bergwijn's actually been better in recent performances.
Yeah.
And I hate to say that, but I hate to say that because he's been one of our best players we've ever had, and he'll go down as a Spurs legend. But these last 6-7 games, Son has been terrible compared to his usual self.
Yeah.
And I think Bergwijn is actually doing a better job in adding an attacking presence recently, at least. So he definitely deserves a chance.
Yeah, I think Bergwijn deserves a chance. Especially because he's just been left out of matchday squads these past few weeks. I think having him on the bench today would have been like a lot better because we really only had Lamela and Dele who were like impact subs. And I mean, fair play to Dele. I wasn't expecting him to come off so well, but after we brought on Lamela at the beginning, our most attacking subs were Dele and Sissoko. I mean, and there was Carlos Vinicius, but he's really only there if Kane gets injured. So it's just so frustrating because I feel like if Bergwijn would have been on the bench today, we could have brought him on for Bale earlier, and then had Lamela stay in the 10. And I don't know, but I feel like just having Bergwijn's pace would have been a threat on the wings. Yeah. Especially with against Cedric Suarez, who I don't rate particularly highly. But anyhow, I think Bergwijn does deserve.
Wait, did Bale get subbed off when it was 1-1 or 2-1? Wait, did Bale get subbed off when it was 1-1 or 2-1?
I think he got subbed off when it was 1-1.
Yeah, 1-1. All right, fair enough.
Yeah. And then they scored 7 minutes later. But I mean, it's gonna be. We need to go into it. We can't underestimate them for sure. We're gonna need to treat it like a. Well, I mean, with the way these lot treat North London derbies, we might have to treat every game like a North London derby. Just show any passion at all. And then maybe if we grab an early goal or two, we could bring on Thane Scarlett or Alfie Devine or Marcel Laviniere, who maybe we need a new right back.
I think all we need is one away goal and the tie's done, I think, because then they have to score 4, don't they? I think we need is one goal.
Yeah. I'd agree with that, as long as we don't jinx ourselves like the Barcelona admin did a few years ago.
I'm a Spurs fan, remember?
Yeah. Alrighty. Score predictions? I'll start. I think I'm gonna go with a 2-2 draw. I think we'll rotate, and I think we'll score the first 2 and maybe bring on some I don't know, maybe like some youngsters, and we'll concede a couple. But I think overall, it will be okay.
I think we will win 4-0.
4-0. Wow.
4-0.
Max?
No, wait, is this your
I'll say I'm going to say 2-0 again because I don't think they'll score because in the first leg, Zagreb, I'd say first 15, 20 minutes, they looked kind of threatening, but they didn't threaten enough in terms of chances, you know. So in terms of their attacking threat, I don't think Zagreb are that good at all. So I think we'll keep another clean sheet, but I think it's all about getting the tie done in the first half and then bringing the likes of Scarlett and Devine, like you said. So I'll say 2-0 again, respectful.
Charlie, score prediction for Dinamo Zagreb?
1-1. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, we'll probably play a weaker squad, rest a few players. So plus, we're not going to be really up for it after today. So We're still gonna go through though. It's gonna be 1-1. I'm gonna go for Bergwijn getting his first goal of the season.
Yes.
Maybe finally.
Come on, Bergwijn.
And
Hopefully.
I don't know, Petkovic scoring or something. Don't mind. I don't really care. We're gonna go through shortly, so. I mean, if we don't go
Charles, I swear, if you just jinxed us.
Please, Charles, I beg. Please, Charles, I beg you.
All right, Bodie. So round us out. What do you think?
I'm going for a 2-0 loss.
What?
You
Sorry.
what?
I'm
You said
joking.
2-0 loss? Okay. Oh. I mean, we're there, Bodie.
No, it'll probably end up being.
Everybody.
It'll probably be
Heresy.
like a 2-1 win. It'll be nothing special. Hopefully we would see Bergwijn score. I have no clue who's going to score because based on that game, I'm clueless. They're all terrible. So
yeah, I mean Lucas Moura and Eric Lamela, but hopefully they're rested.
We'll just see who turns up on the day. Hopefully Bergwijn nets one, as I really rate him as a player. Needs to let him product. Yeah.
I think Eric Lamela will probably play since he can't play at the weekend because of his red card. So Lamela and Bergwijn will probably be our wingers. But
Lamela.
Yeah, anything else you guys want to mention before we wrap it up?
I'd like to mention something real quick.
Right,
Lamela is a better camp than Moura.
No, I disagree with that completely.
No, I think he is. He added so much.
That's an interesting point, actually.
I think they're both good at the campus. I think they're both actually better at the cam position than at winger. But I think Lucas Moura is a better cam than Eric Lamela is.
If you asked me, I think both of them do have mistakes. For example, for Lamela, sometimes he can hold on to the ball too much, and with Moura, he gives the ball away too much as well. So I guess both of them do have mistakes in them. But I've said this time and time again, we look so much better with pace going forward. So if I was to choose out of Lamela or Lucas, I would go Lucas. I mean, don't get me wrong, like Lamela's class, and he always gives 100% despite the red cards day, which was kind of stupid from him. But but he always gives 100%, and that goal was ridiculous today. But for me, I'd say Lucas just because of the pace we have going forward.
Yeah, I think the other thing I think Lucas Moura might have his disposition change to cam might have saved his career at Spurs. Because I think before this we might have been looking to sell him in the summer, but I mean, since he's been moved to cam, he's produced much better numbers and been much more threatening going forward. So, but yeah, we'll see how it goes this summer. I mean, one of Lucas or Lamela, I feel like has to be sold this summer. I'm just not sure which one it's going to be.
I prefer Lamela to leave, honestly. It's like it's nothing personal to him. I think they're both great, but I feel like Lamela is just. He's been longer. He has so much more passion, and he has so much more drive in him. Like Lamela has a great work rate with tracking back and whatnot recently, at least. But Lamela I feel like he brings so much more to the team. In my opinion, at least, I think Moura's been you could say Moura is better, but this has only been recently where he started to perform like this. I mean. Before the semi-finals, he hasn't been performing near enough the way people thought he would after the semi-finals. It's only been recently, and Lamela has been a dark horse in our team. He's kept this form up throughout his entire time at Spurs, which is why I feel like he deserves to stay the most out of between them two. Nothing personal more. I think he's a fantastic player on his day, at least. But I feel like Lamela, he's more consistent. He has more drive, more passion. And he's been a longer servant, and he deserves to get that chance that he's been waiting for so many years.
I mean, with the way the transfer market's going right now, we might look to, if they both continue to perform at the way they're performing right now, we may even look to keep both of them. So we just don't have to worry about spending more money, and then we can maybe invest a little more into a center back. And on Eric Lamela, I mean, he might be wanting to stay just so we can get the testimonial. Because he's at the club for 8 years at this point, so he only needs a couple more seasons, and wouldn't that be wild? Eric Lamela testimonial, but
one person needed a flipping testimonial. Jan Vertonghen.
Yeah, he didn't quite make it. I think he was at the club for 8 years.
Yeah, he was there for a long time. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, this guy said.
You cut out, Charlie. while we wait for him to come back, I think I mean, in going into the future, I'm back on the right back issue. I think Tanganga should be given another opportunity, whether it's at right back or center back.
Yeah.
Especially this week in the Dinamo Zagreb game, I think he should be given an opportunity.
You know when Aurier made that mistake against Leicester, giving away the penalty, and he got brought off in the second half. I want the same energy for Doherty. I want the same energy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think Doherty should be kept out of the squad for a week or two.
Yeah. Yep.
Germany needs to realise that Doherty was playing.
Oh, yeah, you're back. All right. What were you gonna say, Charles? You cut out when you were having your last little talk.
He's still here.
Yeah, he's here. Maybe he cut out again. I think that's just about it then. Is there anything else anyone wants to add?
Hello, what are you saying, Lou?
To be I've forgotten it now.
Alrighty. All right. Well, I think that's just about it then. Thank you for listening. This has been our first episode on the One Hotspur podcast, with a new name at least. But we really appreciate you all taking the time out of your day to listen to it. And follow us on Instagram. It's at One Hotspur Pod, and on YouTube and on most audio platforms. Thank you so much. We appreciate you all, and see you in the next one. Come on, you Spurs.
Come on, you Spurs.